What's going on, my good people, man? Time to react to one of the biggest games of the season between two juggernauts, Baltimore and San Fran. Let's break it down. So first and foremost, gotta get some love to Lamar Jackson, man. I think he's cemented his status as the MVP. Unless he has a turbulent 2 weeks, I think that's pretty much stamped, dated, and cleared for Lamar Jackson, man. What a great game. Took care of the ball, was efficient. 2 touchdowns, over 250 plus yards. Did everything you needed him to do. Their offense looks really good, even without Mark Andrews, who's rumored could come back if they make a deep playoff run. But Lamar, man, Lamar is off the chain, man. I'm telling you, he's that dude. Would not be surprised if he wins the second MVP. Now, secondly, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really think Baltimore really showed that they are Super Bowl contenders and that they'll be in the Super Bowl. We're gonna find out obviously next week. They gotta play another AFC contender in Miami Dolphins, but they're gonna be home. But to go in San Fran and do what they did against that strong team that everybody had, okay, they're pretty much clear cut. They're gonna win it. To do what they did on the road, right, and be able to kind of, to a degree, manhandle San Fran and be able to create a lot of turnovers, be able to run the football, be able to get downhill, just kind of wear out San Fran. You don't see that a lot. And that just speaks to the AFC North football, man. It's so tough. My favorite team is 0-5 against it this year. They're physical. They want to come downhill. They were just creating so much havoc. David Clowney looked good last night. Kyle Van Noy. Ravens got a team, man. I'm telling you, to me, I feel like they are clear-cut one of the best teams in the league. I definitely think they're the best team in the AFC. I don't really see much teams challenging them. And like I said, once again, shout out to Lamar, man. Lamar putting on the show. He showed that he's worth every penny, man. Whatever you look at, you might be like, oh, well, he doesn't have the most gaudy numbers. He just gets it done. He's just a problem. Go look at that third down he had, and he had a 31-yard scamper on the third and 20 plus, right? Just making defenders miss in the open field. He doesn't do it as much now, and that's how you know he's gotten a lot. He's gotten really, really smart and cerebral now. Like, he only runs when he has to. He's more looking to pass. And you got to credit that to him and his growth for elevation. And you got to credit it to Todd Monken, too, because he doesn't make Lamar run the ball as much. It's more pass the ball. They're getting the ball to Zay Flowers, who looks really good as a rookie. Isaiah Likely, Odell, Rashad Bateman. They're getting the ball out and getting them the ball. So I think it's clear cut, man. He would have to have a terrible last 2 weeks for not to be MVP. Now, man, we got to talk about Brock Purdy, man. I keep telling people, obviously, he was in the MVP conversation, had 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions coming into this game. But when Brock Purdy plays a real defense, man, this is the result you're going to get. It's no disrespect. I just think Kyle Shanahan is a great coordinator. And whatever quarterback comes into that system, they're going to thrive. If we really think about it, that's really what it is. They're going to thrive if they come in that system. Jimmy Garoppolo did it before he got hurt, got them to NFC Championship games, into the Super Bowl, right? Brock Purdy, we see him thrive and got into the NFC Championship game. It's no disrespect to Brock Purdy, and I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback, right? He's a good quarterback, but he's not one of those select few, right? There's only select few in the league, right? You throw Josh Allen in there, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert when he finally gets the right keys. Obviously, Jalen Hurts as well, I think, is in that conversation too. Brock Purdy's not that. He is a beneficiary of the system and also the weapons that he has. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, right? Those guys, Brandon Ayuk. He's a beneficiary of having a great coordinator and a great offensive mind that's a genius, and also the system that he's put forth, and then the weapons around. And lastly, I think, man, you got to give Christian McCaffrey the ball more. I know 14 carries, you guys are like, well, that's enough. You got to get him the ball out in space. You got to involve him more in the pass game. To me, guys, looking at the game, Christian McCaffrey is their best player. That's obvious. Then you go maybe 2 Deebo, 3 Kittle. All those guys are good. You got to get the ball to McCaffrey more. And if anything, McCaffrey from this team should be the MVP, because when he is not going, you see the difference in the game. When they have to ask Brock Purdy to pass the ball, this is the result you get. And another interesting stat, too. Now, look at this stat. Brock Purdy versus the AFC North this season, 4 TDs, 7 interceptions, 59.4 completion percentage against everybody else, 25 TDs, 4 interceptions. So that just goes to show you, just like I said, how elite the AFC North is. People sleep on it, man. It's one of the best divisions in football, man. That's why we've had a tough time this season. Regardless of what you say about Pittsburgh, they're tough, they're gritty, great defensive team. Cleveland, same thing, tough, gritty, great defensive team. Same thing with Baltimore, tough, gritty defensive team that now looks really good offensively. So that just goes to show you. And it's no disrespect to Purdy. Like I said, I still think he's a good QB. I just don't think he is one of those top tier. It's only a select few. I think it's 5 or 6 guys are in the top tier. I don't put Purdy in that conversation, in my opinion. Is it good enough to win a Super Bowl? Probably is. They probably can win a Super Bowl with Purdy. But to say he's MVP, Nah, man, I just don't think he's the most valuable player on that team. I think that's Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion, offensively. That's clear cut. You seen it last night. And when Brock Purdy has to throw the ball, as much as he has to throw the ball, does it have a running game? You see the result.